Hello.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, sir.
Audible to you? Yeah. Am I audible to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you. So now in this particular session, actually, it's a live streaming is also started. Just okay. So now we are able to go with the last two topics now. If you are not audible, please let me know. I will increase my voice. So am I audible
Okay,
to you?
sir.
Please confirm once again. Am I audible to you?
Yes,
Because
sir.
thank you. Thank you very much. Now, in this particular class, actually, before class, actually on 10th, we are not able to make out because I went to Tirupati. And due to that reason, I am not able to make out that one. So, in the block 4, actually, we are talking about programming and budgeting. So, we will open programming and budgeting block 4. Okay. Okay, correct. So, in the programming and budgeting, actually, what is meant by the programming? When we are talking about any of the aspects of the program, so understand the importance of that and how it will go on and what are the various important elements to be considered and how best we can consider, how best we can calculate the accurate values by taking into consideration all the relevant factors. So in the you refer to the block number 3 already we have done with that, and in the block number 4 in the management control process, we are talking about now on the concept that is management control process, block number 4. Let me go with that and then we will start with it. Other screen is getting changed. Just 1 second. List of participants, right? Yeah, now it's correct. So when we're talking about programming and budgeting, it is unit number 9 we are going to talk. So what is actually essentials of budget? What is budget? Let's let us understand, and basing on that we will go for that. So budget is a quantified shipment of plans. Am I audible to you? Please once again confirm, Uma. Last and last. Am I audible to you? Am I audible to you clearly? Yes.
Yes, sir.
So budget is a quantified statement of plans. So all in every organization, actually, we need to make a plan of every activity. That is, sales is an activity, production is an activity, purchase is an activity, raw material procurement is an activity. In all these activities, actually, we need to quantify the statement. What is the quantification of statement? Quantification clearly tells us that when we are doing a particular activity, how much money involvement is measured, how much money is involved, how much quantity is involved. Like that, say for example, in the case of the sales budget, in the sales budget, what normally we expect, how much is the sales we are going to make in the next coming year, how much will be the quantum of sales, how many units we are able to sell, and all these aspects we will represent in the form of the numerical statement. This is very, very important. So budget is a quantified statement of plans expressing the numerical value and how better you are able to make out that. That is called as a budget. So budget always followed by actual. Then what is the difference between budget and actual? When we are talking about actual, how much sales we are able to make in this current year? Let us assume that if we have planned for a budget of sale of 2 lakh rupees in this particular year, but we are able to make 1,80,000 only sales. That 1,80,000 is considered as actual sale and 2 lakhs is considered to be the budgeted sales value. So why we need budget? Why we need budget? Another important element. The budget is a user's main aspect. That is one. What is the roadmap? What is the expectation of the management? How better the management wants to make out? All these aspects are represented by the budget alone. So when we talk about budget, every managing director wants to have first of all the knowledge about what will be his revenue in the next coming year. How much will be his revenue? So how much effort he has to make in, how much money he has to spend on the raw material, how much money he has to spend on putting on the purchase of material, administrative cost budget. Like that, for each functional area, I am using the now word a functional area. What is the functional area? Sales is a functional area, purchase is a functional area, production is a functional area, Management is a functional area. So how much is the sale for each type of functional areas? We are going to make out the budgets for that. So each functional area, that is what should be the administrative cost. That is called an administrative budget. So then cash budget. In the case of functional area, that is cash management. When we are talking about cash management, how to manage the cash? There is another type of activity what we carry out. How much is the cash coming in? How much is the cash going out? That is called as a cash budget. How much should be the minimum amount of cash that should be held in the organization? That is also a budgeted criteria. That is represented by cash budget. How much sales we are going to make? That is sales budget. That is sales budget. Then how much material we want to buy? That is product. That is purchase budget. How much activity? How many number of units you want to manufacture? That is production budget. Like that, for each functional area, we are going to prepare separate budget. So now I request all of you, those who are on the line, to go for the page number 122, 8.3. Page number 122, side heading number 8.3. Budget, what are the objectives of the budget? That is a very standard short question which may answer. So it states clearly and ambiguously the target for the different budget centers for the whole of the company. That means budgets are to state explicitly the firm expects to achieve during a particular period. That is what I explained to you. Each functional area will have its own expectation. Sales is a functional area. How much should be the sales? Production is a functional area. How much should be the production? Like that, we are going to understand the help of the budget. There is a primary objective of the budget to control system. Next, second is to communicate different heads of the department. What are the goals they need to achieve? What are the quantum of sales they need to make? What are the quantity of production they have to make? Like that, what is the targets? That is also represented by the budget. Sales budget represents sales target, production budget represents production target, and like that and so on. Third important one, to provide a comprehensive plan of action in the form of organizational guidelines to the departmental heads to achieve the budgeted results. So it gives a quantified data. So budget, as I told you, it gives a quantified data. So if, for example, a sales budget is made, overall sales budget, I am talking about overall sales budget. Overall sales budget clearly tells us about annual plan. In an annum, per annum, if I want to make a sales of 12 lakhs, then that is divided into quarterly plans, half-yearly plans, and so on. In the quarterly plans, so budgeted sales activity should be 4 lakhs. Why? How I got it? That is 12 lakhs by 4 quarters, that comes into 3 lakhs. So like that, 3 lakhs is the quarterly sales budget. So half yearly sales budget 6 lakhs. Triannual, that is 9 lakhs. Like that, for each budgeted period, we will divide the targets and departmental heads will be able to understand about what are the targets. To provide last one, to provide the means for evaluating the performance of the different budgets. So at the end of the budget period, what is the budget period again? Budget period is the period from the starting date of the budget to the ending date of the period. So if I am preparing a cash budget, if I am preparing a cash budget for the financial year 25, so 24, 25. That means in the year during the year 24, 25, that means 1st April 2024 to 31st March 2025. In the 31st March 2025, we are almost, if I say 31st March 2025, that is we are in the half of the period is over. So during that period, what will be the performance of the organization? So whether at least half of the targets are achieved or not, this is compared with the actual performance, and then we are able to understand whether the firm is able to perform better, whether the firm is able to make out the assessment better, and so on and so forth. Like that, to conclude about this one, budget is a quantified statement. It helps us to clearly state the organizational goal. It helps to understand organizational goal. What is the organizational goal? So what should be the sales, what should be the purchase, and so on. Second one, each budget center is subdivided. That is sales budget, production budget, like that. What is the responsibility of each budget center is also located. Then it gives action plan for the different centers, and then it provides a measure for the performance. These are the objectives of the 4 objectives are there. Normally, this will come as a short question for you. Then, what is the important aspects of it? So, let us go for the important aspects only. So, what are the formats of the budget? Next, refer to paragraph number 8.5. In the paragraph number 8.5, we will go by the, let me take a snapshot for this. Yes, right. So, may I know the date? So 11, 16. And చెప్పండి. So when we are talking about the behavioral aspects of the budget, another important area. Explain the behavior. Yeah. Hello? Hello? Am I clear? Satish?
Yes,
Stop.
sir. There is some sound, but it's okay, sir.
Okay, now it's okay? Now it's okay, sir?
Okay, sir. Still, we can hear some sounds from somewhere. I don't know whether it's from
Yeah.
you or somewhere else. It's okay, sir.
Okay,
Voice
okay.
is clear.
I will reduce that also problem for you. I will manage that.
No
Now
problem, sir. It's clear, sir.
yeah. Now I think it is somewhat clear. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Right, because another second earphone I'm not using. Huh? That is the reason why other sounds you are able to listen. Then other the behavioral aspects of the budget. First one, budget is based on the behavior of the organization. Whether the organization wants accurate budget or anticipatory budget or estimated budget and so on and so forth. Participation in the budget process is the first behavioral aspect. Budget can either be set by the senior management or the lower level management people. So normally when the senior management people are involved in the budgeting process, they want to be very conscious about the performance and efficiency of the organization. They don't want to make a risk. But when we are talking about a lower level manager, always he wants to project at a higher level, and that is another. Next, degree of budget goal difficulty. Budget goal difficulty. So what is the budgeted goal? How far it is difficult, and to what extent the organization can achieve this difficulty? These aspects have to be understood. Third one is involvement of the senior management. That is another thing. What is the major important? To what extent the senior management is able to involve in it? Are they giving total support to the organization budget, or are they try to be very cautious about the budgeted results? మనం బడ్జెట్ క్రియేట్ చేసినప్పుడు బడ్జెట్ ఎంతవరకు యాక్యురేట్గా ఉండాలని వాళ్ళు అనుకుంటున్నారు. Whether if the senior management wants to be 100% accurate budget means the budget preparation will be very difficult. Okay, sir, no problem. 10% this or that side, then the budget will be very variable aspect in that. So then budgeting department is also to be established separately. If you are able to invest funds for the purpose of establishing the budget on a separate budget department basis, budgeted data will be collected every year. Actuals are compared with that. Variances are calculated. Then like that, it will be easy to make out on this. This is the four important prospects or four important aspects while establishing the budgeting system. Then another important aspect, so please refer to types of budget. Okay. Yeah, this is a very, very important question. Explain various types of budgets. Actually, this is a more core area in this particular entire lesson that we will proceed, and then we will summarize the entire data. Then lastly to go with that. Okay, what is budgeting? Explain the various types of budgets. What is budgeting? Explain the various types of budget. First one is the general budget. General budget, the budgets are different types and they can be. General budgets are classified into three purposes: on the basis of time, on the basis of flexibility, on the basis of purpose. So budget, that is called general budget, specific budget, master budget. Three broad categories are Tomorrow's class, if you have any doubts, always cross me. I am very, very happy to listen the doubts from the students. So this class, you listen, and after going to the after completing the class, you ask any doubts. And if you still have any clarification, Sunday tomorrow, you can ask me anything else. Okay. Then coming to the budgets are actually three categories. One is a general budget, another is a specific budget or a special budget. Third one is called as a master budget. What is the general budget? General budgets are prepared for each and every function area like sales, production, marketing, etc. Special budgets are prepared for a specific activity. Say, for example, organization is launching a new product. So that is a separate budget. That cannot be. New product every year we don't launch. So what is the budget for launching a separate new product altogether? That is called a specific special budget or special purpose budget. Then last one, master budget. Master budget is a budget which includes all the details of the budgeting process. So let us come back to the first important element. In the general budget, what are the various aspects that we have to consider? First one is time budget. Time is a very, very important factor, crucial factor for how much time you are preparing the budget. So budgets are normally classified into three categories. First one is long-term budget, second one is short-term, third one is current budget. So long-term budget, short-term budget, current budget, rolling budget, interim budget, and so on. These are the five types of budgets which are normally mentioned in the case of the time budget. Long-term budget is normally prepared for more than 5 to 10 years. If the budget period is longer than 5 years but shorter than 10 years, that is called as a long-term budget. అంటే నార్మల్గా ఈ రకమైన బడ్జెట్స్ ఎందుకు ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తారండి? క్యాపిటల్ బడ్జెటింగ్ ప్రపోజల్స్ మనం చూస్తాం. సో వెన్ యూ ఆర్ గోయింగ్ టు ఇన్వెస్ట్ 1 crore rupees, 1 crore rupees cannot be spent in 1 year. So that takes a lot of time. Say for example, construction of entire new factory, construction of entire new building, for that it cannot be completed within 1 year. Then in such a case, how much of investment you are going to make over a period of 5 to 10 years, that is considered as a long-term budget. So construction of a hospital building, like that, construction, research and development budget. Research and development normally takes more than 2 to 3 years. That is 3-4 years budgets. They are short-term budget. If any budget period is more than 5 years, then it will be considered as 5 to 10 years. That is called a long-term budget. When a budget period is less than that, then that is considered normally not exceeding 5 years. That is called as a short-term budget. When a budget period is not exceeding 5 years, that is called as a short-term budget. Then third one is current budget. Current budget means as per as ICWA London is considered, current budget is a budget which is established for over a period of time, that is called as one current year. That is normally called as a current year. What is the current year? That is current financial year. That is from the 1st April to 31st March next year. That is called as a current budget. For example, inventory budget, purchase budget, procurement budget. All these are current budgets only because they are mentioned only for the 1 year period. Rolling budgets also sometimes will be prepared. They are continuously a practice of preparing rolling budget, or it is also called as a progressive budget. In such a case, companies, they are always budget over for the period of 1 year advance. So first year we will prepare, next year we will implement, next year we will prepare, by next year we will implement. Okay, second year budget ఇప్పుడు ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తాం, థర్డ్ ఇయర్ బడ్జెట్ సెకండ్ ఇయర్ లో ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తాం. అట్లా మనం ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తూ పోతే దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ ఎస్ రోలింగ్ బడ్జెట్. Then coming to the interim budget. What is interim budget here? They are the budgets prepared in between two budgeting periods. They are prepared budgets in between two budgeting periods. These are integrated into one budget period following the next budget period. అంటే టూ బడ్జెట్ పీరియడ్స్ మధ్యలో మనం మళ్ళీ ఒక బడ్జెట్ ని ప్రిపేర్ చేస్తూ ఉంటాం. దట్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ as interim budget. So basing on the time period, now I wish to conclude about that time period. The budgets are classified into long-term budget, that is 5 to 10 years. That is short-term budget, less than 5 years but more than 1 year. Current budget, that is 1 year. Then coming to the rolling budget. Budget is prepared on a rolling basis for the periods of 5 years. Then interim budget is prepared for the budget period between two budgeting periods. What is okay? Are you able to follow? Any doubts? No one?
No, sir.
Okay,
Clear,
thank you.
sir.
So then according to function, this is important actually to talk about. Actually, budgets are prepared on the basis of function. Function does not mean that what we celebrate. So what is the activity that is performed by the firm? What is the activity that is the firm? These are most important budgets and most familiar budgets also to you. I need not explain this one. So sales activity, that I started with that, sales budget. Sales budget will represent what is the total amount of sales the organization is able to make, and what is the total amount of just 1 minute. Share that. Okay. Let us proceed now. Only 5 students are there. One minute. So first one is said to be capture two. So when we are talking about sales budget, it is represents the total sales activity. Okay, the major important point what you have to understand is that sales budget gives the total sales data about the budget. What will be the quarterly sales, half yearly sales, annual sales, what is the sales quantity, sales value, selling price, and so on. That is how many products are there also. If you are dealing with too many products, what is the sales of a say washing machine? How many units you are going to sell in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter? At the same time, if you are going to, if you are also selling, say for example, television sets, then what will be the sales of TVs in the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and so on and so forth. Like that, for each product, sales budget is prepared. Sales budget is the budget which gives the consolidated data, for entire other budgets. Production budget is based on sales budget. Purchase budget is based on sales budget. Procurement budget is based on sales budget. Like all other different budgets will depend on the sales budget. అసలు మనం ఎన్ని యూనిట్ అమ్మగలుగుతాము అనేటువంటి తెలిస్తే మనం ఎన్ని యూనిట్లు మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చర్ చేయాలి, ఎన్ని యూనిట్లు స్టాక్ లో పెట్టాలి, ఆ యూనిట్స్ మ్యానుఫ్యాక్చర్ చేయడానికి మనకి ఎంత రా మెటీరియల్ కావాలి, అవి కొనడానికి ఎంత అమౌంట్ కావాలి, ఆల్ దిస్ డేటా కెన్ డెవలప్ విత్ దట్. So that is about sales budget. Production budget represents the forecast of quantity of production in terms of the items of number of units and also the period, within how much period you want to produce, and so on and so forth. Then cost of production budget. In the cost sheet, you have understood about what is cost of production. In the cost of production budget gives us clearly about how much cost you are going to make out. So these are the important areas what you have to understand about this. Then coming to the purchase budget. When we are talking about the purchase budget, what should be the amount needed for that? What is the amount needed for the purpose of purchasing the any item of that? Then research budget. So how much of money that you are going to spend for the purpose of carrying out the research activity? Normally, in the case of the medical companies, etc., medical companies, they will invest more and more amount of the budget on the basis of the research activity. So, my preparation of drugs, that is formulation, creation. During the COVID time period, almost all the pharmaceutical companies they invested lakhs of rupees, actually crores of rupees, on the research and development budget. The development of new vaccines and so on. That is research and development budget. Capital expenditure budget is the budget for the purpose of developing the various machineries, buildings, and so on. Capital investment proposal. Evaluating of the long-term investment proposal is said to be the capital budget decision. Then cash budget. Already I explained you. So how you go with the cash budget? Cash budget basically tells us about what is your income, what is your what is your income, what is your amount of money to be spent, and how much money is coming in, how the money is coming in, how money is going out, and what are the various activities you are carrying out with the help of the cash and so on. These are the other important elements. Then another important one, last one is master budget. Master budget basically tells us includes all the budgets. It includes sales budget, purchase budget, procurement budget, cash budget. A comprehensive budget which covers about all the functional areas is said to be the master budget, right? That is another important classification. And lastly, I will discuss about this one, flexible budget, and then other important aspects you can easily understand. And last, zero based budgeting, that also will come on the basis of according to the flexibility. According to the flexibility, what is the meaning of flexibility? It is based on volume of activity, how many number of units you are manufacturing, what is the fixed cost out of that, what is the variable cost out of that, so what is the total amount of sales you can generate. All these aspects on the basis of quantity, that is called as activity performed. If I manufacture and sell 8,000 units, what will be my cost and sale? If I manufacture and sell 10,000 units, what will be my cost and what will be my sale proceeds? Then if I go for another production level, that is 14,000 units level, what will be my cost and what will be my profit? What will be my sales? Like that, if you are preparing the budget for each level of quantity or activity, then it is called as flexible budget. Then another one, fixed budget. Fixed budget is a budget which is designed to remain unchanged irrespective of level of activity attained. Whether you are getting 8,000 sales or 10,000 sales or 12,000 or 14,000 sales, whatever may be the level of activity, if you are fixing one budget for the budget period, that is called as a fixed budget. So to conclude on this, actually we have discussed about on time period basis, then on the basis of function, on the basis of function, sales budget, production budget, purchase budget, cash budget, master budget. Then on the basis of flexibility, that is flexible budget and fixed budget. So this is the most important classification of the budgeting period, budget system. So I hope you are able to understand all these aspects. So what is budget, and explain the classification of budget. If the question appears for you in the examination, as well as that, you need to understand about the budgeting classification on the basis of time, what define about budget first, write the aspects of budget, then what is the importance and other aspects, then classify. So time period on the basis of function, on the basis of flexibility. These aspects we can write on. Are you clear about this question? I am going to the question answer only, right? Are they able to follow? Anyone has it? Okay, Nandi?
Okay, sir.
Next, another important element is that zero-based budgeting. This is actually the more important theoretical question what you are going to learn now. This is a special type of budget actually. What is special type here is that zero-based budgeting. This concept is introduced by Peter Fir in the foreign countries, and the main important element of the zero-based budgeting is that we assume that there is no activity in the previous year. We assume that there is no sales in the previous year. We assume that there is no purchases in the previous year. We make the previous year figures zero, and on the basis of that, we will estimate the values at present in the very accurate manner. But this is very costliest process actually. So in the case of the normal budgeting process, what happens is that if the last year sales budget is 1 lakh, now we say that this year we are able to make 10% increase in the sales budget. So then this budget current year budget, this year sales budget will be 1,10,000. On the basis of last year 1 lakh plus 10%, that is 1,10,000. That is current year budget figure. But in the case of zero-based budgeting, we assume that there is no sales in the last year. How much sales we can do in this current year? Directly, we will go for market survey. We will estimate the market. We will go for demand estimation. We will identify what price you can go with that. These aspects will be considered. So we assume the previous basis as zero, and we will evaluate each and every activity as a fresh. I repeat, in the case of zero-based budgeting process, we will evaluate each and every activity as a fresh. Suppose we want to prepare a purchase budget. What type of raw materials are required? What is the market price? At what price I can quote? And how much is the quantum of value we have to pay for them? What will be the discount? All these values are estimated in a new manner. This is the process where it is followed. In this case of the zero-based budgeting, actually what is the main important difficulty is that every manager has to justify, every manager has to justify why he is spending that money. In the case of he has to justify what will be the quantum of sales for that he has to. Say for example, a sales manager will say that, sir, I need a budget amount of 5 lakhs. Why he need 5 lakhs? What is the purpose? How he is spending? Like that, each and every activity he has to justify that activity. That is very, very difficult activity. Second one, for every detail, we cannot get future data or we cannot get accurate data. How much will be the salaries? Yes, we can get on the basis of the pay slips, but how much will be the sales? That is different. How much discount? What will be the demand pattern? Unless you refer to the previous demand pattern, how you can decide with that? These are some of the difficulties are there with the zero-based budgeting program. But what actually the zero-based budgeting say that every activity is to be analyzed from the scratch level whether this activity is necessary, whether this activity is to be carried out or not. Is it necessary to carry out this activity in the organization or not? If it is necessary, to what extent funds are required for that? Like that, you need to understand that. These are about the zero based. What are the application element of the zero based budgeting? That is also another important area. So that one you can learn from the page number 130. Benefits of zero based budgeting is also given. Then these are the another important aspect which you need to understand about budgeting process. So I wish you are able to understand this concept also. So what is budget? What is budget aspect? What are the budget objectives? What are the types of budgets? And what is the classification of budget? And last question, that is zero-based budgeting. What are the advantages of zero-based budgeting? What are the benefits of zero-based budgeting? That is a very, very important question for you, right? Then, okay. Any questions from your side? Any doubts? ఇంకా మీకు డౌట్స్ ఏమన్నా చెప్పండి. రేపు క్లాస్లో కొంత మ్యాక్సిమం మిగిలిన కూడా కవర్ చేసేస్తాను. So coming to the page number 134, that is essentials of a successfully budgetary control system. So many points are given here in the material book. That is page number 134. What are the various essentials of the successful budgetary? The main important aspect for the success of the budgetary control system is that top level management support for every activity. When you are analyzing the data, top level management must give sufficient guidance, sufficient cooperation to it. That is one. Then clear, second point is that clearly stated objectives and goals. What the organization wants to achieve. If it is clear, then on the basis of that, you will be able to make out the sales for that. You will be able to make out budget for that. Then realistic budgets are very, very essential. If you are preparing the budget, then whatever the budget you are preparing, that must be on the realistic basis. Then based on the corrected data, that is also another important figure. Appropriate organization structure is also very, very important. When the organization hierarchy, that is what is the level of authorities that you are all, then it is very, very necessary. Then budget manual. What is budget manual? It deals with the various types of budgets prepared, budget objectives. Budget manual is a book which consists of various aspects related to the budget preparation. Who is the budget officer? What are the various objectives? What are the goals of organization? To what type of budget you are preparing? How much flexibility is to be given? All these aspects are written in the case of the budget manual. Then a budget committee is also to be established. So budget committee. Budget committee consists of nearly 6 to 8 members from the different functional areas. For example, a sales manager. So one from general manager who is taking care of all the activities. Then a sales manager, then a salesperson, then production manager, then purchase manager. Like the different departmental heads or at least departmental person must get involved in the preparation of the budget so that they will have a realistic budget. If a production manager cannot discuss about sales activity, a sales manager cannot discuss about the purchase procedures and all. So the budget committee consists of various key positional persons and so on. The budget must be comprehensive in nature. So budget, even though some minor details are missing in the budget, there is no problem because the functional people will take care of it. But whereas Functional people may take care of the budgeting process. But whether when you are going with the comprehensive budgeting system, so budget should be cover all the various aspects of the organization. So budget should cover the various aspects of the organization spheres. Then budget education is also very important. So why we are preparing budget? What is the objectives for the budget must be made clear to the various important functional areas. Otherwise, they will feel that this is only a paper, but this is not related to us. Then all the participatory approach is very important. So each and every member of the organization, at least top level management or middle level management, they must be given importance to this. That is called as a participatory approach. The information must be gathered from various people, that must be consolidated, and finally that must be given as a shape of the budget, that is quantified statement. Then it must be sent for the approval and redraft it. Then finally accept for the budget period. Then budget must be a two-way flow process. Two-way flow. What is that? Two-way flow process. That means information must be gathered from the lower level, information must be given to them. We will collect the information from the top level management and so on. And next, regular reviews are also very much necessary in the case of the budget process. Periodical review, that is monthly, quarterly, half yearly, for a specific time period, the budget process must be reviewed, how you are going with that. Then resources constraint, budget period, and corrective action, regular comparison, analysis of significant variations, all these aspects are very essential to carry out in the budgeting process. With that, we have completed this lesson number 8. So I hope in this particular lesson, you are able to understand somewhat considerably what is budget, then what type of budget, what are the budgeting aspects, what is the types of budget, that is classification of budget, and what is zero-based budgeting aspects, what are the essentials of budgeting process in the organization. These are almost very important. Out of that, you can expect 1 or 2 questions from that. Then coming to unit number 9, which is covering about the variances. Actually, before going for the variances, let us talk about the variance briefly, then we will go for the other important elements. And actually, in this particular class, unit number 9, variance analysis and reporting. What is actually the meaning of variance? Variance means difference. Difference between what? In the budgeted, in the previous lesson, we understood about what is a budget. If a sales budget is there, I made a budget for the sales of rupees 10 lakhs. But at the same time, last year I made a budget for 8 lakhs of sales. What happened to the 8 lakhs? First of all, you have to analyze. So, what is actually the last year sales? How much is the last year budgeted quantity? Why there is a difference between the two budgeting figures? Say why actually, say for example, last year budget sales is 10 lakhs, but we are able to make a sales of only 8 lakhs. Why there is a lack of 2 lakhs? Why there is a shortfall of 2 lakhs? That is to be analyzed. The shortfall of 2 lakhs, if it is because of the inefficiency of the salesperson, then you can take a corrective action. But if the budgeted sales data is itself not correct, that means it is the mistake of preparing the budget. Then you have to revise the standards. Here there are two values we will compare. One value is the what is the standard. What is exactly what represents the standard? Standard represents what should be achieved. Here in the variance analysis, we use two values. One is the first one is the actual, second one is standard. What is the standard? Standard is the value which should be achieved. That's all. What should be the standard sale? What should be the standard cost of production? What should be the what should be the standard material to be used? So what should be the product purchase, procurement budget, procurement amount, like that? That represents standard. Standard represents what should be used. And second one is actual. When I'm talking about actual, what is actual sales? What is actual cost? What is actual amount of money used in procurement of the food? Like that is actual figure. If you compare these two, that is budgeted figures are compared with the actual figures, then it is called as variance. Variance is difference between actual value and standard value. So if the standard sales is 10 lakhs and actual sales is only 8 lakhs, then it is unfavorable variance. unfavorable variance. Here, the variances are measured in the two types. One is favorable variance, another is a one is a favorable variance, another one is a unfavorable variance. So what is a favorable variance? Another one, what is unfavorable variance? Favorable variance is one which is beneficial to the organization. If you are expected to buy, if you are expecting to make a sales of say 10 lakhs and actual sales is 12 lakhs, then it is favorable to you because higher sales value will generate higher profits to the organization. That is 2 lakhs favorable variance. But whereas if you have to, if your cost budget, let's say production cost budget, it states that you need to spend only 6 lakhs for that. But when you incurred or spent 7 lakhs rupees on the cost of production, that is unfavorable variance. అంటే కాస్ట్ డేటాకి వచ్చేటప్పుడు అన్ఫేవరబుల్ వేరియన్స్ వస్తాయి, సేల్స్ డేటాకి వచ్చేటప్పుడు ఫేవరబుల్ వేరియన్స్ వస్తాయి. సో లైక్ దట్ ఫర్ ఈచ్ మెటీరియల్ కాంపనెంట్, ఈచ్ లేబర్ కాంపనెంట్, ఈచ్ ఎక్స్పెన్స్ కాంపనెంట్, each sales component, each profit component, we will prepare the variances. So to conclude upon here, the approaches, what are the various approaches? What is the variance you are able to understand now? Variance is the difference between the actual and standard value. Standards are predetermined according to the budgeted process. On the basis of budgeting process, we will predetermine, that's all, that is called as a budget. What is actual? We will get the value from the various books of accounts and that is analyzed. The variance is the difference between actual and standard. Now, if we go for the variance analysis, we will go for variance analysis. Refer to the paragraph number 9.2. We will go for the calculation of variances under 4 subheadings. First one is direct material variance, direct labor variance, overhead variance, sales variance. And another one is also there, that is called as profit variances, but that is not mentioned here. So first one is direct material variance. Direct material variance, what is the meaning of direct material variance? Direct material variance is measured in respect of the what is the total cost of material used for the manufacturing. What is the standard cost of the material allowed for the manufacturing of the particular product? I repeat, direct material cost variance. That means if I say, if I am manufacturing 1 unit, let us assume, for 1 unit manufacture, you need to spend 10 rupees. That is called standard cost. Say, that is one. Whereas you have used only 8 rupees. That is a favorable variance of 2 rupees. Then material cost variance is said to be 10 minus 2, that is 8. In this process, you will go with that. So first one is material cost variance. Material cost variance is actually calculated as the standard cost of materials used for the actual output. How much is the actual output you manufactured? That you multiply with the standard material cost per unit, that is called the standard cost of output. Then what is actual cost of material? That if you subtract from the standard cost, you will get the standard cost minus, you will get the direct material cost variance. Then material cost variance is subdivided into direct material cost variance is subdivided into 5 categories, that is called as direct material cost variance, price variance, usage variance, and mix variance, yield variance. So like the 5 categories are analyzed in the direct material cost variance itself. What is the total cost variance? That is called as material cost variance. What will be the amount of difference that is arising because of the price change? Price change, I'm referring to the price change. Say, for example, in the budget, I mentioned that I need to buy the material at 10 rupees per kg. Whereas you have purchased the material for 12 rupees per kg. That means per kg, your cost is increasing by 2 rupees. That is called as material price variance. The variance arising because of the difference in the price, that is called as material price variance. Then another one is the material usage or quantity variance. When I am talking about material usage or quantity variance, so it is a variance that is arising because of the difference in the quantity of usage. So I suggested that for each unit manufacturing, you need to use only 1 kg of material, whereas in the actual process, you used 1.2 kgs of material, that is 200 grams extra you use. That is also resulting in the higher cost. That is the reason why you will analyze. That is, it is that part of the total cost variance which arises because of the usage of the material, that is called as material usage variance. Then material with mixed variance is another. Material mix variance represents about the proportionate change in the mixation of the various quantities. That is another important. What is the ratio of materials you are mixing? You say, for example, standard ratio of material A plus B is equal to 60 is to 40. Whereas you have mixed the material in the 70 is to 30 ratio. If the change is there, then that is called as 60 is to 30, 60 is to 40, and whereas it is 70 is to 30. Why? How much will be the cost difference because of that? It is that part of the total cost variance which arises because of the change in the standard mix and actual mix. These are the another important area. Material yield variance is another important area. That is, what will be the total cost per unit and how it will be, what it will be. These are the yield variances. How much output you need to manufacture? How much output you need to manufacture? Say for with 10 kgs of material, I need to manufacture, say for example, 6 units. Whereas I am able to manufacture 8 units out of that. That means 2 units you have manufactured extra. That is called as favorable variance. When the actual yield is more than the standard yield, that is called as favorable. These are the various classifications of the variances. So that is the material variances. And I hope you are able to follow up to here. Variance analysis. Anything else from your side? Please let me know. Is it clear? Yes.
Yes, sir, cleared, sir.
So what I want to suggest to you is that in this particular variance analysis, what is variance? I'm telling the point. What is meant by variance? Explain the types of variances. When explain the types of variances means price variance, labor variance, administrative overhead variance, sales variance, margin variance. 5 types. I repeat, when you are asked about what is variance, so that is the difference between standard and actual. How many types of variances? That is cost variance, material variance, labor variance, overhead variance, then sales variance, profit variance. Five categories. Suppose explain about material variances only. Explain about material variances. Then you will discuss about direct material cost variance, direct material price variance, direct material usage variance, direct material mix variance, direct material yield variance. Like that, you need to answer the question. So, what is exactly asked in the question that you clearly understand, and then you proceed with the answer. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Elivat. Thank you, Ella. And in the tomorrow's class, we will complete other 1 or 2 variances, and then we will go for the next remaining aspects on it. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much for your listening.
Thank you, sir.
Any doubts?
No, sir.